Whew, where's the coffee? Yo. Welcome to today's video. We're gonna do a little update. A little, let's say, honest, raw, uncut update of what is going on the one side in my life, where I'm living right now, where I see personally my future going, and some questions that I've been asked.
Hold on, just a little. We'll meet right here in the middle ground. Is where we'll stand. Let go of the riddle.
And yeah, you see, on the one side, obviously we're going through this crazy situation that we're all tangled up. Me personally, I've been based out of Minsk, Belarus now for, what is it, like 6-7 weeks, close to 2 months. And it has been an interesting time. So on the one side, I want to share with you how that was going, living here, the situation here, possibly my plans for the next few weeks, months. Got a lot of questions like, hey Danny, how are you dealing with the situation? Are you planning to go somewhere? How do you feel bad about it? Do you feel upset about it? And but also honestly, yeah, do share with you also, let's say, my perspective. Usually in my videos I'm very upbeat, especially when it's in my mindset content. I'm very like, yeah, 5 a.m, discipline, this and that. And while that is definitely a part of me and I try to keep it up to the best of my ability, I do have to admit that a few weeks have been pretty tough, and I just want to share this with you. And so with that, how should we start out? Yeah, I've been also getting a few questions on Instagram, so if you want to just keep in touch with me on a more regular basis here in the main channel, then you got the world to see. Not that many videos have been coming up. People asking like, oh, are you fine? Are you okay? On the Instagram, quite a frequent updates if you want to stay in touch with me on a, let's say, less time consuming way. But with that, let's jump into it. Like, so I've been living here for like, what is it, 7 weeks, and I gotta say, it has been a much better time than I thought it would be. So I'm in Minsk right now, and the main reason is I've been seeing a girl here, came to the country because of that for the most part. I know the culture. It's like similar to other Eastern European countries, post-Soviet countries, but I actually really like the city. Maybe I'm gonna show you a few shots right now. And in terms of the whole pandemic, it's one of the few places that didn't went on a full lockdown, and they get a lot of blowback from that from pretty much all of Europe, which in some way I can see why. On the other side, is obviously up to you, whatever your opinion is on that. To me, being personally here, let's say on the ground, I gotta say they do actually have a lot of measures in place. Everywhere they have signs up, sanitizers, social distancing, close up movies, theaters, like big gatherings like that. So I obviously cannot really judge, but they don't have any strict restrictions. Obviously for me, you know, I love to spend time by myself anyway. So what I've been doing for the most part is really, let's say, reading into the books that I have back there. I filmed a video, 5 books that might change your life. Check it out if you haven't yet. Just doing the settings here real quick, getting bright outside, sunny day. And with that, very actively, I gotta say, one of the few countries, I think also with Sweden, I think they have a very similar policy from consuming the news, trying to understand the situation, and also really looking at the numbers. But with that also, it just creates a certain inner anxiety. It's easy to get caught up in it, and obviously we're living through times that are kind of like a crazy movie. And with that, the first few weeks when I was here, it started out quite, let's say, I was like, yeah, let's go, we're gonna have a good time here. In a way of just like, everything is gonna be fine, as you know me, my attitude. But just to be very, let's say, transparent with you, there were a few weeks where it was hard for me to get out of bed, where I really was like, hey, what do I wanna do now? I don't feel like creating really any travel content. Maybe I'll do like a video or something like cost of living in Belarus. Obviously living here for over a month now, the apartment, grocery shopping, stuff like that. But I really was like reconsidering what I want to do, and with that, a few weeks where it also got me. And what it took for me to get back into a better place, to feel better about myself, to move ahead with our lives, because this, like, in my eyes, super important to do. Everything is slowing down, everything is stopping, and whatever we can keep going, especially with the daily stuff that we can do, just for our own mental health, but overall for society and the whole bigger picture. Like, everything cannot slow down. We need to keep going, we need to keep doing. And for me, there was a lot of projects that I've been kind of like pushing back. On the one side, I wanted to, let's say, do a lot of, for example, book reviews, to share different ideas, and I've been doing that on my second channel. So I really kind of, let's say, channeled a lot of energy into that. And Question about the family. Let's say, how's the family doing back home and they're living in Germany? Actually doing pretty well. I've just talked to them this morning and they told me that actually in Germany they're starting to open up a lot of stuff in the beginning of the week, smaller stores and things like that. So they want to do it kind of like step by step. So that's good to hear. The other thing that I thought it would be interesting to talk about, also like kind of, let's say, a big theme here on my channel is traveling, living the digital nomad lifestyle. And the pros and cons of that. And obviously it looks absolutely cool on like YouTube, different countries, drone shots, you move around, you travel, and now all of that is gone. So people are asking me, how do you feel? Do you feel stuck? Do you feel bad about it? And to be honest, I haven't really thought about that like that at all because of the situation that I am in, or let's say the stage with that I am in. I've been traveling a lot, let's say, on and off. And while it's amazing the experiences that you can make, the people that you can meet, and I'm super grateful for that, and it has been an amazing chapter in my life, but now what I actually keep communicating is that as amazing as travel is, it's really about the intention of why you do that. Do you do that because you don't feel good back at home, you want to run away from your life? And a little bit of that maybe was me at some point. Then actually, as it is right now, when things are going to open back up, we're going to talk about that in a second, potential plans, what I want to do, where I want to go. As of right now, I will keep living this lifestyle. And what I mean is moving through different countries. We'll talk about that in a second exactly. Maybe towards the end of the year. We'll see how things are going. I'm in no hurry. And the reason for that is that the biggest thing that I personally for me realize is like I cannot do this anymore, like move around for like every week, every 2 weeks, new country. It's cool for a few months, but everyone that you're going to talk to, and this is what I also want to transparently to share here, for everyone who maybe wants to do that or thinks it looks super, super cool and like, yeah, you gotta be like, you get super exhausted, and it's also your relationships. It's kind of like single serving friends. I've been just watching Fight Club recently again. Through every place that you move, it's amazing that you can meet a lot of people, but then if it's like very short, you don't really have time to develop proper relationships. You're all the time living out of your suitcase, out of your luggage, and I gotta say I'm probably one of the people that can like deal with it the best. I never needed a lot of stuff, and especially recently been really cutting down. But still, it's like just mentally exhausting how much energy you have to spend on that you then cannot spend on actually doing something more worthwhile, actually building something, building a proper circle of people, but also potentially building a business, a career, which you can absolutely do from the road. And basically my approach to it, since after I did this, like let's say last year, what was it, India, Dubai, Philippines, and then Bali, is gonna be to stay for a few months in every place, and with hopefully towards the year the whole situation clearing up, fingers crossed, whatever the solutions will be, possibly vaccine, some form of a little bit of immunity that people will be building up. Hopefully we're gonna, let's say, stay successful in flattening the curve in some way. For me personally, it's gonna be, let's say, kind of what I do right now. 2 to 3 months, maybe 3 to 4 months in each country, and I'm planning to do that for around a year. To keep creating some travel content like I've been doing here, let's say first impression videos, little top 10 things that I do, because obviously when I do come to a new country, still, there is some curiosity inside of me. But actually, if you listen to a lot of people who did so many travels, like I've been listening to Mark Manson in his book, actually, The Subtle Art of Not Giving it an F, he's talking about the same thing, that after country 20, 30, it's a very different feeling than after country 2 or 3 or 4 or 5. And that's why I'm in no hassle. I'm in no rush. I'm feeling super comfortable just being in one place right now. And as I said, Minsk, Belarus, I didn't see that coming. The city is super clean, super organized, at least the city center. And actually I like it a lot. And other than that, active plans. I cannot plan anything, but hopefully towards the end, possibly do a month or 2 or whatever in Brazil. I've been talking about that before, and as of right now, for some reasons, I might see myself in Asia again, probably for another few months. Who knows? Hopefully towards the end, hopefully after summer, the situation will clear a little bit up. Well, at least that's my approach. I try to not just sit it out, not just cope with it. Like I got the question, and this is like really, this is just my perspective. But for everyone who is indirectly affected, like me, and it's like, how are you coping with it? And while the situation might be different, I try not to cope. I try to thrive. I try to, let's say, there was this project that I wanted to do for a long time. Do these sit-down videos, talk about topics more in depth, maybe have conversations with people, start a podcast. Been pushing it off for a long time, and I'm like, to me, it's not all about me. The universe doesn't is not around you. But when it comes to your action, when it comes to my action, I'm like, this situation is giving me the opportunity, okay, to take a little bit of a pause in the travel content and focus everything you have now into, let's say, the new thing that you want to do. It's going to be hard in the beginning, and then it's about like understanding the situation, taking necessary precautions, but then crossing a line and then focusing on yourself and focusing on not just coping, but actually doing the best that you can and possibly thriving. And yeah, on and off. For me, I have some good days, some bad days. Trying to stay active, definitely staying healthy, feeling pretty good about myself in the past few days. After, as I said, the first few weeks, been a little bit on the low. I hope everybody's doing well, just as a little bit of an update video in between. Until then, we're gonna see each other very soon. Join me on Instagram, join me on the second channel if that's something you're interested as well. And we're gonna see each other very soon. At this point, living in Minsk over a month, this apartment. It's not the best, but it's kind of like my favorite as of right now. Why? Because of the location mainly. All right, a little bit of a nice minimalist clothing stand. Oh, I think you said it's warm, right? So, just gonna grab my backpack. Maybe. Right here, classic Soviet building. All right, let's go. Ready? Alrighty, and right behind me, it's kind of like really cool what I like. We're living right by the square of Victory, I believe. With
whoa, hold on just a little. We'll meet right here.